Hello, welcome to Ceramics with Miss Tomimitsu. Today I have two different pots here, one's of different size, and I'm going to show you how to make two different lids for these pots. So I'm going to put these pots to the side for a moment, and I already prepared one lid. It's just made of coils. It's to go on top of this pot. And I think it goes really well with this pot with the coils, and I already smeared in this side. So all I need to do now is kind of smear more. And as I smear, I'm cupping the lid in my hand. So it's kind of almost like pinching it, and it gives it kind of that mold shape or molded shape. Concave, right? Okay, so just making this concave, and you will get some stretch marks when that happens, but again, as long as you smooth them later on, stretch marks aren't permanent. They won't become cracks, but if you ignore them, they will become little cracks and they don't look so good. Looks like I got a little hunk missing out of this piece, and I'm okay with that. So I'm okay with this form. I think this is gonna look nice on this teapot. Okay. However, how do I keep my lid from coming off? Go ahead. What do you need to do?
A flange.
A what?
A flange.
Flange, yeah, thank you. Okay, I just want to make sure everyone could hear us. So I already made this flange, okay? And I actually, oh, you know what? I made it for a different pot, so I need to remake, because is this flange too big?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need to show you on the other one. But I had intended to use it for this, but I added an interior coil here, so I can't use it for this one. So I'm going to show you how to make how to use the flange for this pot. Okay, so you do have to have a flange. So this pot, we made this little lid. We just slabbed a disc with 1 ruler thick, and you always want to clean up the disc really well. Okay. Ram, like that. Okay. All right. And then you just do the same thing. You don't want to miss this part. You just do the same thing. You just kind of give it a pinch. Okay. Slowly, because you want to have a concave flange. And if you end up getting some stretch marks on that, or not flange, a concave lid, you just kind of wet a wooden modeling tool and smear. Okay, but you just give it that concave. 1 ruler thick, guys. 1 ruler thick. And longer. And we're multitasking in class right now. And you're pinching it. And I think this would look really aesthetically pleasing on this pot. Okay. There's a little crack, but we'll work that out later on. Good, thank you. And then this is a piece of clay that I slabbed out for the flange. Now, we're not connecting this yet because both of these are plastic, obviously, and we didn't know what size the flange. So my Ceramics 1 students, if you haven't seen this, you probably want to come over and see this part. Otherwise, it will be put up on YouTube. But you want to size it by just kind of experimenting what will fit inside without touching, basically. So I kind of like this. But without going over. If it's snug in there, would that be problematic when it's a rock?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, right? So I'm just smearing it, and it's sloppy. That's okay. It's the flange. Do you end up seeing the flange?
No.
Not too much. But if you want something that looks more professional, you know, do smear the stretch marks out, because it'll look better later on. And Granny opens her teapot and says, "Oh, look at that beautiful flange inside." Okay, so you can smear it up, clean it up. This end, I'll end up scoring and slipping, so that doesn't matter. But you want to work on cleaning the flange up, making it look nice, even though you don't really see it. It's just good craftsmanship. If you were going to sell this teapot, you would definitely want your flange to look nice. And you always put your artist name on the flange and the bottom of the teapot, because for the second firing, we fire them separately. And so you don't want to lose your flange or your lid. So, you know, it's nice to have a good looking flange, aesthetically pleasing. Okay. And again, this part will get scored and slipped onto this. And look, it fits really nice. Do you see there's some wiggle room, and you want that. You don't want it tight. A little bit of wiggle room. The lid would go on here. And you know, what's the third part of the lid that you have to make?
Knob.
The knob. Do you have one made already? Anyone? No? Okay.
It's a little ball.
Okay, well, I could just take, if you just to make life easy, you can just use a cookie cutter, okay? And yeah, I'm not crazy about just doing little balls because I think they're boring, kind of. I mean, it could be nice, but we have all kinds of really nice applique shapes. You can sculpt something really fun. You can literally roll a fun little coil and make it like spiky coming off the top. Here, I'll show you. Be creative. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, you know, and what's the easiest. Sometimes you want to just be maybe the most creative and unique. So I could take something like this where I have like 3 different size coils and put them together, kind of smear and score them. Here. And this was just off the fly. I came up with something like this. Could this be scored and slipped on later on?
Yes.
And be like a creative little knob, okay? Remember, the knob is like the cherry on the top, okay?
Yeah.
So you would score and slip all of this together, and then eventually it would fit on your pot. Oopsie, and you have this nice little pot to go. So just to rewind, again, I want to go back to this one. This could be a cute little knob too, right? This little applique. I want to go back to this one and this pot and this lid. And my Ceramics 1 students, it's time for you guys to start smearing your pots. And I'm going to make a flange because this is a little bit of a taller pot. I want to make a taller flange. So it's about 2 inches. And I'm going to cut this at an angle. And again, I'm just going to, and this is just a repeat, I'm just going to size this. And there's a hair in there. That's okay. It'll burn off at over 2,000 degrees. And smear this. And eventually I will smooth my flange out really nicely. And I will score and slip it to this lid. And this fits nice. It has a little wiggle room. I can adjust always if my clay is plastic on the, but just by rubbing my finger in there. But there's wiggle room for the flange. And again, the lid, top, the flange, and I could score and slip something like this to the top, okay? So this little flower, it's a little cherry blossom flower. And I could even get more decorative by pushing in some design into it, you know, make it look a little bit more creative. Okay, whatever you choose to do, but make sure it's interesting when you have your lid, because again, that's your cherry on top. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope this helps you learn how to make a lid and size the flange for the lid. And again, the flange is very important because you don't want your lid popping off later on when someone picks up your pot, okay? Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.